Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PVRN, Puerto Vallarta Real News. And of course, I'm your host, Brent Lane. Good to be here. Hope you had an amazing weekend. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, Puerto Vallarta time, and all across Bahia de Banderas. It is the 8th of June. Oh my gosh, time is just flying. And good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's see who is in here first. Hey, Melissa, you were here first. I see you. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Matt. I see you out there. Good morning, Sly from Cold, Alberta. Cold. I don't even understand that. Good morning, Laura from the room next door to the office, to the studio. Hey, good morning, Lilia. How you doing? They're coming in hot and heavy this morning. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Adam. Good to see you. Good morning, Lori. Good afternoon to you, of course, being in that time zone 2 hours ahead of us. Oh, the rate Den. All right, let's see. Den and Kathy, happy morning from the raging sandbar in the middle of the Mississippi River. That sounds super interesting. I don't think I've ever gotten a good morning from the middle of the Mississippi River. I love that. Good morning, Renee from Reno. I see Hartman Mark out there from New York City. Love it. Man, we got an international crew this morning, as we always do. Oh, there's Matt and Matt making friends with the other New Yorker. I love that. Good morning, Croc Cam John. Good to see you, sir. Hope you had a great weekend. I love Renee with all the emojis. See, if you put the emojis in the body of the message, they go all over the screen. For some reason, when you click the little ones to the side, they don't do that. So I love emojis in the body of the message because we get them all over the screen. I love that. That's pretty awesome. All right. Hope you guys had a great weekend. This is what it's currently looking like in Puerto Vallarta. It's not that overcast yet. But as we get further into the news, I've got some information, and I see people talking about rain on the screen. And I see L3 throwing those hearts across the street. I see it. But that's what it looks like right now. But as we get into the news, that's not going to be the case here later today or going through this week. We've got a storm a-brewing. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But again, that's what it looks like outside right now. It's beautiful. And guess what? Over the weekend, now it's not the first email I've ever gotten, I'll say, but I did get a piece of viewer mail. And so I asked that person that wrote me, can I share the viewer mail on the show? And she was like, absolutely, go for it. So with that, I'll make this big in just a second, but here is a little screen grab of sorts of the viewer mail, and I'll read it to you and kind of have fun with it. And of course, if you ever want to send me viewer mail, if you got something you want to chat about or something, you have a comment about a show, positive or negative, about me, about what we should cover, that's the email address right down there, pvrnmx@gmail.com. Just shoot me a note like Janie did, who I'm about to read, and you might get your note read on air with permission, of course. So with that, let's jump into the viewer mail. Let me bring that up for you guys. So boom, here we go. So to PVRN/Brent. I can't always tune in to PVRN, but I caught Friday's episode. I hope a lot of you did as well. That was a fun one. And I laughed out loud when you started talking about overalls. I was a teen in the late 60s and early 70s, and overalls were my go-to outfit. I feel you, Janie. Along with bell bottoms that hung 2 inches over the backs of my hiking boots, fraying the hems perfectly. I love this. I love this description. Good morning, Chrissy. I see you. So my generation's clothes and attitude were way too much for my parents, who were 40 years older than I, and I had a much different idea of how to dress. Does it sound familiar? I think this is every generation. At one point in 1972, my father, after his fourth martini, offered me $200 to get rid of those goddamn jeans, quote unquote. $200 was a lot back then, but I did not bite on the offer. Good for you, Janie. Now, here we are in 2026. Parents are gone. Let me switch back to the screen so you guys can see. I see comments are coming in. All right, so here we go to 2026. Parents are gone. Older controlling sister is gone. And in April, I bought my very first pair of overalls in 40 years, and I love them. Comfort clothes, memories of a lot of fun and stupid days. I will wear them with pride. Oh, nicely done, Chris Anderson. Overall, I love this. So continuing again with the viewer mail, in case you came in late. So the conclusion of her message is, so get yourself some overalls, Brent. A little hot for PV, but you will still be quote unquote cool. Best from Janie, a lover of PV from the coast of Maine. Ah, viewer mail. I love that. Again, get in on the thing. Get your viewer mail read right on air. That's the email address right there. And Janie, a huge shout out to you. I don't know if you watch the show live. If you're out there right now, if you are, say hey. I love your overall story, and I love that my overall story on Friday made such an impact with you and made you reminisce a little bit. Some good, some not so great, but overall, I think it had a positive feeling. And the show was really fun. If you missed Friday's show, I agree, Lori. Overall, do rock. I agree. I'm not sure Laura agrees with that, but maybe one day if I can find a light enough pair of overalls, I will make those happen and rock those at an event here in Puerto Vallarta, or even here on the show. That would be pretty fun. All right. So moving on, again, love the viewer mail. If you're new to the show or you don't get here, you don't get the notifications, click the little bell on the bottom corner. Once you do that, just choose to accept all notifications. The default is customizing. You don't get all the notifications. That way, you never miss a show. And you don't want to miss a show because if you haven't noticed, I approach news a little bit differently here. So listen, we all get a ton of doom and gloom news out there. The death scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, the news outlets. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there. It's not very positive. And you might notice that I don't cover a ton of doom and gloom here. It doesn't make the news any less real, but I feel like we get plenty of that. Now, with that, if there's a big story, and there is one today that I will report on, it's a little doom and gloomish, but it's at the end. It's just the way it is. So if you like this news the way it is, great. If you feel like, Brent, I need more doom and gloom in my life, well, let me know. Hopefully a lot of people don't say that, but it's still the real news. It's still the news as reported by the amazing local Mexican news agencies here. I get a lot of them in Tribuna de Bahia, and I thank those reporters for their stories, and I try to interpret them in a way that makes the most sense for us while keeping it real. But again, I'm not... Yeah, I hear you, Lori, too. The doom and gloom just becomes a little depressing. And we lived in Puerto Vallarta. We live in a great world. The doom and gloom's a little much. So again, if you want more doom and gloom, I guess send me a note, vote for it. But if you're good with the way I do the news, well, we'll continue on. All right, this isn't doom and gloom, but it is a heads up. We've got some storms coming. Let me jump into that real quick. And one more thanks to Janie for that viewer mail. I love that. If you're out there, put a comment in the notes. I love that. Please continue with it. All right. Now, this is the tropical depression many of us have been watching carefully and keeping an eye on. So I was really careful to check this morning's forecast literally minutes before I got on because it's been changing a lot. So this is the latest and greatest. So I'll make this on a bigger screen in just a minute. But Tropical Storm Boris, they just named it, has officially formed in the Pacific Ocean and is tracking directly towards the southern coast of Mexico. Thank you, John, for those clouds. Pretty enlightening. The National Meteorological Service reports that the system intensified from Tropical Depression 2E, that's how they call them before they get their names, early Monday morning, positioning itself about 135 kilometers southeast of Acapulco and 80 kilometers southwest of Punta Maldonado. That's in Guerrero, so that's all south of us. Packing maximum sustained winds of about 65 kilometers per hour. Boris is moving slowly northeast at about 4 kilometers per hour. Now that's important because it isn't moving fast, and we don't want these storms moving so slow. That's a bad thing as they sit on top of you. Laura and I we had one in Merida when we lived there that was a tropical storm. I'm not going to say only, this is a tropical storm, but we had hurricanes hit there. But by far the worst storm we had in Merida was a tropical storm, and because it was so slow moving, it just kept dumping rain for like 4 days. It was bad news, and so that's the key piece about that slower storm. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that you guys appreciate the rumors and the actual news. Thank you very much. All right, so back to the storm. Now, Boris is moving slowly, as I just reiterated. And federal authorities have already activated the Marina and DN3E emergency response plans as the storm is projected to make landfall along the Guerrero coastline, again south of us, by Monday afternoon or evening. Now, the slow-moving nature of the storm, just to reiterate on that, has prompted severe weather warnings across multiple states with torrential rainfall between 150 and 250 millimeters expected to drench regions of Guerrero and western Oaxaca. Neighboring states, including Michoacan, Colima, and southern Jalisco, are under alert for intense rainfall, while dangerous ocean conditions are generating waves up to 5 meters high along the coast. Now, civil protection officials are warning residents in low-lying mountainous non-mountainous areas to prepare for potential flash floods, rapid river rises, and life-threatening landslides. Okay, all kinds of bad stuff. We'll put the picture up again. So a tropical storm prevention zone remains strictly in effect from all the way from Laguna de Chachua, that's a hard one, to Oaxaca, to Tecpan de Galena, Guerrero. Whew, some of those places in Guerrero, hard to say. Now, while the storm will focus its direct energy on the southern coast, it will not directly hit Puerto Vallarta or Bahia de Banderas, where most of our viewers are concerned. However, its broad cloud bands are expected into western Mexico, which will trigger heavy rain showers, overcast skies, and an influx of tropical moisture across the Bay Area over the coming days. As of this morning, I looked this up just now, Jalisco waves of up to 4 meters high are predicted with wind gusts that could exceed 50 kilometers per hour. Now, we've definitely seen worse here, but those waves are the concerning part for sure. So keep an eye on that. Probably avoid the ocean. Those red flags are going to come out. And if you're near the Malecon of the ocean, or, just, be aware of your surroundings, and we'll see how this storm comes over the next few days. Definitely the weather report is showing lots of rain over the next week, so it is here. All right, so we're going to take a second. I need a drink of coffee. I don't know how you're feeling. Let's do a quick cheers. We're not cheersing about the storm, obviously, but we're just cheersing that I needed a break from reading that. It was kind of a long story, longer than usual. All right, let's get to a stinky story. Y'all ready for a stinky story? All right, stinky. Let's see. Do I have a sound effect for stinky story? Let's see. Da, 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 da. No, I really don't. So we'll just continue on. Oh, I don't really use my sound effects that much, but there they are. So this is about the sewage spills. We've seen this story a bit. Here's some a picture from over the weekend. So again, we know that a collapse of Puerto Vallarta's primary sanitary sewer line has caused widespread black water, not good, flooding in Colonia Versailles, known for its restaurants and great walkability, but it's been a little stinky lately. It triggered a large sinkhole as well on Prisciliano Sanchez Avenue, a totally different area, and the emergency unfolded near the neighborhood in Vallarta, which has about 500 housing complexes when the asphalt gave away. So that's the sinkhole piece. But overall, really what we're talking about here, it is a long story. I don't want to go through all this. But overall, SayPal announced that the rebuilding and reinforcing of that critical treatment plant collector pipeline is still requiring some intensive repair. It says over 72 hours. We might be good by now. But overall, if you've been in Versailles or you've seen any of this happening, this is kind of the viewer feedback part. Have you guys been out there? Have you seen the sewage? Have you smelled it? I can say personally, in the past, this has also been a problem, because I remember when Laura and I left a restaurant one night, we were having a great evening with friends, and we stepped out and boom, stinky, which isn't the greatest thing right after you eat. We don't like stinky. So hopefully they get that under control, because Versailles is this amazing area with amazing restaurants, but they've got to fix the infrastructure and the sewage problem there. So we won't harp on that too much more, but I did want to share that we are still dealing with that. And if you've seen the stink and smelled it, let us know. All right. So, certain areas, constant issues here. Yeah. Oh, okay. You didn't come across anything. Good to know. And Lori says, yuck. I like that. And that's bouncing around the screen. All right, so you didn't see any that night. That's good. I think it generally happens more when the rain is coming down, and that's good advice from Chris Anderson, the Anderson Report. Definitely wear shoes. I remember one time we had that massive flood out in front of the old location for Whiskey Kitchen. It was notorious for flooding, and my Jeep began to float away almost. So I ran out there, and my first reaction was take off my new tennis shoes and wade through the water and jump in the Jeep. And I think that would have been a major mistake. I think I would have stepped on glass or something metal, and everybody in the place said, no, you're doing it wrong, and oh well. So my shoes washed, so that's good. But yes, we don't want that exposed. So thank you, Chris, for that bit of advice. I appreciate that. I'll even give you a clap for that. Nicely done, Chris Anderson. Yeah, Francisco Villa is the worst for flooding. I know Gina doesn't miss that location too much, or maybe she does. I don't know. All right, on to a bit of grimmer news. So hang in there, but sometimes we don't report all the good stuff. The state of Jalisco prosecutor's office has launched a rigorous field and forensic investigation following the gruesome discovery of human remains in Puerto Vallarta early on last Tuesday morning. The emergency call was generated approximately 2:30 in the morning, drawing first responders to the intersection where the discovery was made, and it's in the Guadalupe Victoria neighborhood. I'm not as familiar with that neighborhood. Maybe you guys are. But upon arrival, officers confirmed the presence of a deceased female whose body was hidden inside an abandoned crashed vehicle. Investigative teams and forensic experts immediately cordoned off the scene to collect physical evidence. Authorities are currently conducting background checks and tracking local intelligence to piece together the events leading up to what could be, what caused this victim's death. I don't mute my mic. And the state prosecutor's office stated that updates will be released as forensic examinations confirm the victim's identity and determine the exact cause of death. Now, we try to avoid some of the doom and gloom here. I wanted to share this one just because I wanted y'all to have the full story of that before it gets inflated or twisted or something ends up on social media and starts, I don't know any further than that. I don't know if it's connected to anything else. Bad things happen all over the world. Bad things happen here. So that's all we know for now. That's the full extent. Maybe an investigative reporter out there may or may not have a more accurate version of that. I'm open to it, but again, unless I read it in 2 to 3 publications, like I did for that piece, I don't share it. So that's enough of that. So, hey, not a lot of news today. We had a little bit of news. Definitely, I think we got a couple big stories. We're all watching this weather. I hope you're keeping an eye on it as well. And hopefully the weather holds out and holds off as we're about to be starting the World Cup, and hoping as those events happen, we're going to get some tourists down here. The government's doing a lot of stuff to incentivize tourism right now. I'm not reading all the stories on air right now, but I might as the week continues. But with that, if you've got anything you want to share with me, please do. Again, the email address is right here, and you might get it read on air, which is fun for me and fun for you. And again, click down there, subscribe. You know how to do it right there. Hit the bell. I'm getting better at pointing at the bell. I need kudos for that. But definitely subscribe. And again, we're going to get you out just a little bit earlier today than 20 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, thanks again for having fun with me on Friday. And definitely thanks for that viewer mail. I will see you all tomorrow with Puerto Vallarta Real News. Well, we may talk a little bit more depending on the amount of news I get this week. We may talk just a little bit more about how I'm going to handle this show when I'm traveling. I'm very torn, yeah, be safe, be kind. I like that. And yeah, World Cup starting here in Atlanta. I love that. I'm still juggling what to do when I travel with this show. Do I take time off? Do I not take time off? And I'm trying to figure that out. I haven't figured it out yet. We don't need to talk about this today, but I'm still kicking that around. All right, I promised to get you out earlier. Let's roll the credits. Let's do it. And I will see you all tomorrow. And thank you so much for being part of the live show and for y'all catching it on replay. I look forward to hearing you. Have a great day. See you mañana.
I need to go to the restroom, or do you need